Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Zayden here, and wanted to take a second to talk to you about my favorite show, Dragon Ball Z. Now, I said in the announcement of Dragon Ball Super video that I'd go on a kind of a rant, and this is pretty much it. But I wanted to talk about why I don't want Dragon Ball Super to continue on the same. At least, I don't want it to continue on the same formula. If Dragon Ball Super is going to be a thing, I'd like to see it move away from what the series has become. And let me just talk to you about that for a second. At first, Dragon Ball was a show about Goku and his friends. You had Bulma, who was like the super tech genius. Yamcha, Tien was a threat when he first showed up and then became an ally. Krillin, Chaozu, and then even Piccolo. What happened to all of these characters? Like, all of them are non-existent in Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo being the strongest, and still, he's literally the warning symbol. The warning sign. Like, that's all he does. Oh no, Piccolo got beat? Well, maybe we should consider taking this guy seriously. Because everyone else is stronger than Piccolo, even Goten and Trunks. What? They're little kids. Why are they stronger than the big bad from seasons past? That's dumb. So what they need to do, if they're going to do Dragon Ball Super, they need to reboot the series effectively. And I know they're not going to. And that's why I don't want one. But just for the sake of how it could be fixed, I want to talk to you about that. So, let me just start with saying keep Dragon Ball the way it is. Dragon Ball. Just Dragon Ball, leave it as is. We need to make all of the changes in Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball was fine. It had a good pacing, a good show. Dragon Ball Z was not really supposed to be its own show. The Saiyan and Frieza saga was supposed to be the topper or the icing on the cake for Dragon Ball. That was it. It was supposed to go off the rails and finish. But it didn't. And that's where the show got bad. And like I said, I love Dragon Ball Z, but it can't continue. Like, literally, Dragon Ball Super is going to be Goku, Vegeta only. People are already upset at how weak Gohan is. And Gohan's just gonna keep getting weaker. Like, the gap is just gonna keep getting bigger. We may find new friends and new partners like Lord Beerus and Whis, but they're just gonna fall off too. Just like everyone else. So, in light of that, like I said, I want to just talk about Dragon Ball Z and how we could make it fit. So, starting off, we will look at the Saiyan saga. Raditz shows up, announces, Goku, you're an alien. Oh! That's fine. You can leave that as is. Raditz was not where the point where the show went off the rails. Raditz is fine. Goku dies protecting Gohan, and goes to train with King Kai. Then, what you do to fix all of the problems is instead of having Vegeta and Nappa show up, the androids show up. And I'm not talking 17 and 18, I'm talking 19 and 20, the original androids. The only reason Akira made 17 and 18 is because his director said, no, I don't like the way these look, give me more, give me something else. And so 17 and 18, teenage boy and girl, very aesthetically pleasing. Because 19 and 20, you got the fat clown doll and a grumpy old man. But those were interesting. They were different. They broke the rules of the norm. So you have those two androids show up, start wreaking havoc. The human, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu can't beat them. Why? Well, because the androids absorb energy. And what is Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu really, really good at? Using energy. Yamcha's whole thing is, I control energy than everyone else. Tien's well, I have weird paradox beams. Chaozu levitates, because that wasn't a thing until Chaozu. So, obviously, humans are just really good at ki, and being able to manipulate it. The androids, specifically, are designed to stop that. And that just makes sense. Everyone thought Goku was a human until Raditz shows up. So this is how Goku is able to beat him. He's not a human. He doesn't have the same ki requirements restrictions as a human does. He's a Saiyan. He has far more physical durability. Perfect. That's fine. So Goku comes back, Kaiokens the shit out of these androids, and wins the day. Until Cell, first form, shows up. and is like, yo, I was Dr. Giro's greatest thing. I was made with your DNA. I know your weaknesses. Well, shit. That's when the party gets together. You have young Gohan, Goten, or not Goten, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Piccolo, Chaozu. They all come together, and they fight Cell, and beat Cell. You just take him out. Goku can't do it himself because Cell has everything Goku has and more. You have to team up to take him down. So, after Cell goes down, a few years of peace happens, let's say 7 or 8. Gohan's in high school. Goten is born. Trunks can be born. I will go into a little bit of that later. Because Vegeta hasn't shown up yet. To be fair, we could even toss Future Trunks here. Like, without having young Trunks, this could be where Future Trunks shows up instead of having him be part of the whole androids save the world thing. But you could put Future Trunks here, and you have, all the characters progress like they normally would, and then you roll into the Majin Buu arc. Notice, we're still skipping, the Saiyans and Frieza. And so, yeah, now we have Goku, he's got some Kaioken, he's been training for these years. Gohan's the young adult. He's probably learned the Kaioken from Goku at this point. And to be fair, so is a lot of other people. Like, I would venture to say Goku would teach it to everybody, were they still useful. So, you have, the Z Warriors, Earth's greatest defenders, with the Kaioken, until, Babidi and Dabura show up. That could take place almost the exact same way. Gohan has the highest power level because, he's the hybrid with Kaioken. He has the perks of both human ki and Super Saiyan strength. And Super Saiyan is in above human, not super gold. And then boom, like that plays out almost identical. You can literally have that run almost the exact same way without interfering. Majin Buu, the whole Fat Buu, Super Buu, Kid Buu. And I can hear some of you being all like, but how do they defeat Super Buu or Kid Buu without Gotenks or Super Saiyan 3 or the Spirit Bomb? And my argument for that is the evil containment wave. Why couldn't the same thing that contained King Piccolo contain Majin Buu? Oh, well, he's stronger. I'm going to counter with Supersonic Warriors, a Dragon Ball Z Game Boy Advance game where they had a good number of alternate endings. Depending on which character you played, they each had their own unique story and endings. And in that game, when you play as Piccolo's story, it takes place after the Cell games, starting with the Majin Buu. Piccolo being the sole survivor of the Cell games, Majin Buu shows up, Piccolo's unable to defeat him. So he uses the evil containment wave to seal him away for years until shenanigans happen with another side story. And that works. That's the end of Piccolo's story. And that doesn't mean Majin Buu will be gone forever. It's a good way to end the saga after having a good amount of action without derailing the series. And now so far, what have we done? We've moved the last 2 chapters of Dragon Ball Z, pushed them up front, and it still flows with Dragon Ball. The Red Ribbon Army for the androids, and super demons and magic and genies would fit with Dragon Ball. That just all fits. None of that has gone off the rails. But during the Majin Buu arc is when you start taking things, like you did with the Saiyan Saga. You can have them all, the Majin Buu kill, like Goten or Gohan, Yamcha, Trunks, Piccolo, anyone. Have them kill a good number of characters to spur them on to going to Namek and proceeding with the rest of that story. Or, hell, you can even toss in the Saiyans here. Toss in Nappa and Vegeta, saying, we've started to detect higher power levels from your planet. This is the planet where Raditz disappeared. We can't let you do that, Star Fox. So you run it with that. They come, alright, Nappa Vegeta comes in. They're really strong. They're like, top 12 in the universe. They come in, they kind of wreck some days. Goku's able to repel it just like before. Boom, off to Namek, where the strongest in the universe show up. Dodoria, Zarbon, the Ginyu Force, Frieza. They all show up, And the show goes on the same way. You know, Krillin and Gohan go on an adventure, or maybe even Goten and Trunks at this point. They all go on to gather the Dragon Balls to revive their dead friends. Gohan has his full potential unlocked, Mystic Gohan through Elder Guru. And Krillin keeps up with the Saiyans because of the power unlock. Goten and Trunks can learn fusion here from the Namekians instead of some dead species that never shows up that Goku learned conveniently in the afterlife. Like, it would fit near flawlessly. And so what you do here is you have Goku fight Frieza after taking out the Ginyu Force, have him fight Frieza, go Super Saiyan the same way he did before. And you can end the series here with either a resurrection of Goku or Goku staying dead, the way the series was intended to finish. And that would also flow well with the Battle of Gods. Because in the Battle of Gods Movie 1, Beerus, whatever his name, says that Frieza wasn't a god, but it was someone he wanted to keep his eye on. Why would he care if there are things like Majin Buu out there that need to be watched or destroyed? That doesn't make sense. So that's why you put Frieza to the very end. Frieza needs to be the climax. The show was designed for Frieza to be the climax. If we can make him the climax again, the show will flow better. So, and that would even make sense with the resurrection of F, because apparently the whole secret to spoilers, the whole secret behind Frieza's strength increase is he does train for 4 months, gets better, and then beats the shit out of a Super Saiyan god. What? Makes no sense in the main series. But in this timeline that I'm proposing, that fits. Like, Frieza barely loses to a Super Saiyan, Goku ascends to the next level, Frieza, on his side note, takes the same amount of time and ascends to his next level, pits themselves against each other again. That just fits. That just makes sense. So, like, that's what I was saying, and that's why I don't want to see Dragon Ball Super unless it follows this timeline. Because with, all the characters still being active and able, there can be potential for a much better show with a diverse cast rather than Goku Vegeta solve everything every day. Like, really? It's devolved from Goku and his friends to Goku Vegeta only. So, that's my rant on Dragon Ball Z. That's what it needs to do to get better. And that, I honestly think this would make it a flawless show, or near flawless. Like, of course, it still has to do with the writing and whatnot. But it would fit with Akira's design. It would fit with his dream of Frieza being the villain that needs to be taken down, the big bad that haunts his dreams. It would fit, while still keeping everything he's added after. But anyway, that's, like I said, I just went on a rant there. Thank you all so much for sitting through that. And let me know what you think in the comments below. So, just like I said, thank you all so much, and I will see you next time.